Good morning. Okay, so I have chosen for my assignment to do a little bit differently and to make a video. That way I can capture all of the requirements for the assignment. So, to begin, my focus for this lesson is something I tried this year. I used it in both an 11U and 12C class, but it was slightly modified. The unit that I was focusing on was the Catcher in the Rye. And the learning goals and the outcome here was for students to be able to recognize important events in the chapter and also be able to synthesize and condense the main events or ideas in fewer words. So hence why you'll see here, this is the Twitter project assignment. So the Twitter project assignment looks like this. Basically, imagine that Holden Caulfield had a Twitter account in the novel. What would he tweet during his adventures? In order to track your reading, you will be tweeting significant moments of Holden's stories. These tweets should be textually accurate and written from Holden's perspective. Right here it says tweets can only be 140 characters long. That has now been doubled to 280. So some students, I did give the 280 characters for. They could use emojis, hashtags, whatever. They had to reference a page number. Right here, I did say inappropriate tweets will not receive credit. But that was a little iffy as long as it wasn't terribly inappropriate because we all know Holden is not the most appropriate character. So as you see here, it's chapters 1 right to 26. They're supposed to do one for every chapter. So this was kind of the expectation of the assignment. I thought it would be fun. Students in that age group are using social media. They like Twitter. They like hashtags. So this was my idea of making it a little more engaging right from the start of the year. And instead of just doing a journal or some sort of entry all the time. Okay, so that was the assignment they were given. Now, moving on to the next thing. Here are, these are two examples of students' work. Leaving Pensy for good. We'll see where I end up next. Hashtag peace out Pensy. Gotta say, I do look pretty tough, all covered in blood and stuff. It did hurt pretty bad, though. Can't call Phoebe, so I'm going in a nightclub with a bunch of dumb girls instead. So, for example, this student, it was pretty good. They did highlight some of the key points, but they didn't reference the page numbers. That was a big one as the assignment required. Some things could have been a little bit vague and not specific for a specific chapter, but overall it met the expectations. Another one right here. The student did quite well, saying goodbye to my school. This student, when submitting the work, actually said that she purposely put some spaces in words like here, goodbye, or capital letters where it wasn't necessary because she felt Holden wasn't totally academically there. Some good ideas. But again, right here, chapter 7, I'm leaving now. I hate you morons. Bye. Little too vague. That was one where it was unnecessary to be slightly inappropriate, as I felt that that specific tweet could have been relevant for many different chapters. Okay, so after submission, I did receive some students' work that was really well done. But then I also received a few assignments where I didn't even think a lot of them either didn't have Twitter, didn't know how to use hashtags, didn't understand the difference of 250 or 140 characters or 280 characters instead of word count. So I felt like I actually should have given a little more background on Twitter, some ideas there, how to use it. Okay, so after getting these submissions, I actually felt it was a little bit boring. First I'll show you the rubric that I used here to assess. So knowledge and understanding. The goal was to demonstrate a high degree of knowledge and understanding of the major events in The Catcher in the Rye, including themes, motifs, and symbols. Uses processing skills to create creative and insightful Twitter posts with a high degree of effectiveness. Communicates for a specific purpose and audience with a high degree of effectiveness. transfers knowledge of the Catcher in the Rye to a new context, Twitter, with a high degree of effectiveness, and assignment instructions have been followed and all components are complete. So that's kind of the rubric I used. Okay, so then what I was going to say was I actually found that it was not near as exciting as I wanted, and I actually found it to be a little bit boring, if I'm being totally honest here. So I decided that I would like to do this again in the future because the students definitely liked it. But there's multiple digital platforms I could have used. So, for example, right here, Prank Me Not. This can be used obviously as a prank site, which isn't the goal here. But you put in the name here, Holden at Help Me Help You. You write your tweet over here on the left side, put a date, whatever, and it actually generates the tweet for you. Then right down here, you can download tweet post as an image. Seems like a really simple web browser, but you know what? I was a big fan. Some students did this for each and every tweet, combined them all together, and submitted the assignment as one big Word document or PDF file, and it was really cool. So that's one website I'm definitely a fan of. Another one is right here, Fake Twitter Tweet. It's a Simitator account. Now this one I really like because you actually can make it more than just tweets, but you can actually make Facebook Generator, Yahoo Answers, whatever. But you can also make it look more like a profile. So again, some students chose to use this website, which I really, really liked. Finally, another option I found was a fake Twitter template. Now, in this case, as you can see, it kind of looks boring. It's Frederick the Frog. But this is all able to be modified. You can change the background, type in whatever you want here, make it Holden have an actual bio, put all the tweets down here, some images, who they would follow. You could add in some of the different characters who they'd follow, and really just changes to make it your own background. So although those platforms seem simple, it's either a PowerPoint download, there's websites to use. I really would like to integrate them for next year because I felt like this assignment had a lot of potential, but even some of my really high 80s, 90s students ended up just copying and pasting their tweets or, typing their tweets into the box on the Microsoft Word handout, which I gave them, which really is my fault because I gave them that template to follow. That being said, sometimes I think that maybe I could have added to the rubric or something saying, come up with your own creative element, come up with a way to demonstrate your understanding in a different way, use a tool such as this, use the website to generate the tweets, that sort of thing. So I know it was a little bit different than what the expectations were, but this is an assignment I did use this year. I enjoyed. I know students but I felt like I could have taken it one step further. So that's an example of something I would do for the Catcher in the Rye. Engage the students, make it a simple kind of daily journal entry, but in this case, it's just a tweet. Students can refer back to it pretty quickly if they're trying to figure out what happened in which chapter, if they're looking for a quotation or something for the final culminating activity. And I think there's lots of room for some creativity here. And I felt like I somewhat hindered that last year by providing the template. So moving forward, I'd like to try it again, but with more tools to use. So thank you for listening and watching my little video.